nobody is going to be able to follow this queen. The coincidence of the fact that she became queen when she did at a very important but edgy time in our story, national story in the early 50s, that as a young monarch, that she has been there. I think it's been very important to have a woman actually for 60 years as the head of state, growing older. We've all grown older with her, thinking about her, watching her. But I also think that she has, because she's that wartime generation, she has had a self-discipline which has been remarkable and is very hard to copy and replicate into the next and the further generations. She has never, think of it, 60 years of meeting people hundreds of times a day who are all going to remember what she has said to them and pass it on. 60 years of never actually making a mistake, never saying something memorable, quotable, hurtful, politically controversial. That's quite hard. I think she has been absolutely extraordinary, and therefore it follows that the Prince of Wales has a heck of a job, of course he does, to reinvent the monarchy, to do it in his own way. I thought his speech actually after the concert was really good and quite affecting and spontaneous and slightly surprising actually. I think many of us hadn't expected that. She can't win when it comes to those kind of issues. It was said, it's still said, but it was said particularly at the time that she'd been a cold mother to Prince Charles. In fact, he more or less said the same thing himself, that she had been too fixated on duty and being the queen to be an active, warm enough mother. And then, when her grandsons are bereaved, and she's with them at Balmoral, and she focuses on them, and doesn't go down to do the public business at Buckingham Palace, she gets slapped about for that. And so I think there was an irritation that, what am I supposed to do? Most of the time, she puts duty completely ahead of family. And, she thought, and then this terrible thing happened, she thought she was doing the right thing. And there was this very strange atmosphere for maybe just a few days, or a week or two in London. I was a newspaper editor at the time, and I remember there was a sort of national frenzy. Certainly in London, large numbers of people slightly lost their heads. And it's not surprising that it took a while for that message to filter through to Balmoral. As I say, I was a newspaper editor, and I can vividly remember one of my sharpest, most kind of toughest young female news reporters coming back into the office and saying, I've got a great story. There's a portrait of Charles I in Clarence House where people are queuing to sign the condolence book. And Diana is appearing behind him in the painting. And I said, sir, that's interesting. There's mass psychosis of the story. It's kind of, mass hallucination. No, she's really there, said this reporter. And at which point I thought, really, the country has gone mad.